Hello and welcome to a REDCap training session. This is Patrick from REDCap for VCU. The topic we'll be covering is automated survey invitations. And what is automated survey invitation? An automated survey invitation is a way to have invitations be sent out to your participants, but rather than sending or scheduling them manually through the participant list, the invitation can be scheduled to be sent automatically. And you can also base this upon specific conditions, such as if the participant completes a survey in your project or if certain data values for a record are fulfilled. And you can also send out surveys at a specific time, and which you can choose whether it sends out immediately or at a specific date. This would be useful in gathering data from participants over time, or that they may be joining in a study at different times. All right, let's go ahead and look at our project. And usually if you're not planning to send invitations out at a different time, or do not plan to get the participant's email, the survey queue would be a great option as well. And video of survey queues will be posted in the description below, so feel free to check that out. All right, first thing is to make sure that your project is enabled as a survey in main project settings. And to reach this page, we would go to Project Setup, which would be the tab next to Project Home, or we can click on Project Setup under our main page. Okay, let's go into Online Designer. To choose our automated invitations, we would at least have a minimum of 2 instruments. And as you can see here, we have 4 instruments total, with 3 of them enabled as a survey, as you can see with the green check marks. And to enable a survey, you would basically click on Enable. For example, let's do this. Enable this as a survey. Save changes. Now, what if we would like to delete this or disable this as a survey and move it back to a data collection instrument? We would click on Survey Settings, scroll down, and delete survey. And there's a little note at the bottom as well. It'll also be a pop-up. Survey is deleted. All participant will be removed from your participant list associated with this survey. And you can go ahead and read that yourself as well. Delete survey. Now it's back to a regular instrument, a regular data collection instrument. Okay, and let's go into automated invitations to set up the second survey. For example, we want a second survey to send out an invitation to our participant list when initial survey gets completed. Okay, and there's usually 4 steps through this process with 2 optional steps. Our first step would be to mention our send email, and usually this can be changed in My Profiles in your the home page. It will be located in the top right corner. 2, it will be all participants who meet the condition defined, and the participant list can be accessed and manage the survey participants. Our subject that would be displayed in the email, and our message. For this example, we use piping and the HTML tags. And for more on that, you can always check our links in the description below or click on the tooltips for help. Step 2 would be specifying conditions for sending invitations. And as we mentioned, that we would like to use our initial survey to be completed first before it sends out the second survey. And as you can see, we have that here. We can define which instrument is completed. And as you can see, initial survey is completed. Then we would shoot out this email. Step 3. Oh, and before we go to step 3, you can also choose the option of ensuring logic is still true before sending invitation. And this would be useful for making sure that the logics hold true when you're sending out invitations at like a different time, like in the next day or next month, or basically a different time. It'll make sure that the logic holds true before you send out the email. And we can enable this as well. Let's go down to step 3. When to send invitations after conditions are met. We can send it out immediately, send it on different day, weekday, weekend day, and different customizations as you wish. And the other option would be enable reminders. We can resend invitation as a reminder. Let's go ahead and click that to take a look. We can send it every day, weekend day, send it every other day, every other hour, which would be very annoying. Send it at exact date and time. And recurrence, you can send it up to a maximum of 5 times. For now, we'll just click this as off. And is this activated? Set this as active and save. Now, what if we want to define another condition? Say, let's look at our first instrument again. Let's see. What if we would like to send out the second form when the survey participant clicks yes to send out a second survey form? And to note, we'll keep a mental note that the variable name is auto-invite. And what is our choice code? We would like it to be a 1 for our choice code. And let's go ahead and take a look at that just to get a good visual representation of this in the works. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this first. And go back to our project setup page. Okay. When the following logic becomes true, let's say we would like auto invite to equal yes. So when the participant chooses yes to would they like a second form to be sent out. Okay, we can ensure logic is true before sending out. And we can choose the next day, just to say that when initial survey gets completed and when the logic of when that question of asking the second form is a yes, after they click submit, it will make sure that that logic is true when it's ready to send out on the next day. And it will do a check before it sends out. Okay, let's save that as well. Specify next day and time to send it survey invitations. Oh, and we can specify the time as well. And that's another way that it will check whether you have a specific time to be sent out. Okay, it's complete. Okay, let's go ahead and change what our survey 3 invitation is. Let's go ahead and take a look at our project. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what the email sent out. Alright, let's go ahead and define our email address for under the participants list of who to send this out to. Let's go to Manage Survey Participants. And for now, we can ignore this participants list. And we would like to add a participant for our initial survey to be sent out. And let's put it as Joe Williams, that participant. and close this. And let's go back to our project setup. Online design. Okay, and let's look at what the email will look like once it sends to Joe Williams. Alright, this would be what the email will look like. The initial survey is the title, and you may open the survey in your browser by clicking the link below. If the link does not work, there's also a backup to copy the link into the web browser. And of course, for participants, any emails sent through the participant using the participant list will be unique to that individual, and they will only take that survey once. And let's look at our initial survey. Okay, as you can see, we have what type of pet do you have, select all that apply, check, check, check. Was this survey access to a public server URL link or a unique link sent to your email? As you can tell, we have it sent to our email under the participant using participant list. And name, Joe, and send second survey form invitation. Once clicking submit, the conditions are met. This initial survey is completed, and the second survey form, we answered yes to the question. And we get fired off to the second survey instrument. And that would shoot off another email. And as you can see, piping was used. So Joe was used from the other form. You have taken the first survey for more video topics, and yeah, etc., etc. And let's see what our second survey looks like once we click on this link. And this was already done just to show that we can't wait for the invitation to send out the next day. Alright, survey 2. Please complete the survey below. Have you ever celebrated a pet's birthday? No. Have bought clothing or fashion accessories for your pet? No. Have TV or electronic on for a pet? Yes, definitely. Okay. What if we do not have emails for the participant list? Let's go ahead and use designate email field. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Project setup, and would be under enable optional modules and customizations. And there's a little tooltip to read up on it, and you can read it up on your own time. Well, basically, to designate an email field to use for invitations. Now it's to say that the participant will state their email to be added to our participant list. Let's go ahead and enable this, but first let's go ahead and make sure we have an email field within our first instrument. And we do not. Let's go ahead and go into project setup, to our online designer. Let's go into our online designer and into our initial survey to make sure we have an email field. Yes, we have an email field. But one thing to make sure is that it validates as email as well for it to show up in our designate an email field option. Yes, let's save this. Go back to our project setup and designate an email field to use. And that would be email for that specific variable name. And for the notes, you can read that as well. And basically, you set up an email field to be designated by the participant when they click on your public survey link. And you will no longer have that warning either. As you can see in the public survey link, we no longer have that warning that was in the beginning. And we can go ahead and open the public survey link just to see this as well. And let's go ahead and quickly fill this out. And let's go Now let's look at our participant list. Alright, and that concludes the topic on using automated survey invitations. And feel free to check out our channel and that pretty much concludes our topic on automated survey invitations. Feel free to check out more of our topic sessions, and we will have one each week as well. Feel free to visit our research portal as well and post any training topic questions or any other topics that you would like to hear from us. As always, have a good day.